Hey nerds, Alex here from Nerds Being Geeks, and today I'm going to talk about my Gym Leader Challenge Lightning Deck. Let's get into it. What is Gym Leader Challenge? So Gym Leader Challenge is an alternate format for the Pokemon trading card game. GLC is a monotype format. That means only one type of Pokemon in your deck. It's a singleton format. That means only one copy of each card is allowed, besides basic energy. So if you're trying to build a grass deck and Bulbasaur is your favorite Pokemon, in Standard you can play 4 Bulbasaur in your deck, but not in GLC. You can only play 1 Bulbasaur. No rule box cards. That means no GX, EX, V, VMAX, V-Star Radiant, or A-Specs, or anything that comes out in the future that has a rule box. So the best place to find most of these cards is gonna be in the bulk boxes. The card pool starts at the black and white set all the way to the present set. Let's get into that deck list. Okay, so before we get into the video, you will notice in this deck list you're not going to see common things that are in the Lightning deck like Hex or Silent Lab, and those are used to turn off the abilities of bench barrier Pokemon because this deck is all about spreading damage. In my previous videos, I don't have a meta, I don't have a locals to go to, I don't play online. The only real meta is the other decks that I've built when friends and family come and play, and it's just become a nice little hobby to build these decks and play with, family and friends. If I was to take this to any type of tournament or league, then yes, I would be changing out a few cards, but since I'm currently not, this is the build I have right now. Alright, back to the video. Alright guys, here is my GLC Lightning deck. A lot of typical Lightning spread cards in this deck with a few spicy items thrown in. So as usual, we talk about the Pokemon. You're going to be using Flaffy and Electric to accelerate your energy with Dynamotor. They both have the Dynamotor ability. Once during your turn, you may attach a lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So you could do that twice, having both of these guys on your bench. So that is a very important thing in lightning decks. And you'll typically see them at least one of these lines in every lightning deck. And then we have Substrika and Blitzel. This is not the best Blitzel to have in your deck. Actually, one second. I actually just picked up this art rare Blitzel at a TCG show, and it's still not the best Blitzel, but man, this art is incredible, so I wanted to throw it in there. Anyways, Zebstrika with the sprint ability. Once during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 4 cards. Once again, Zebstrika is in almost every lightning build just because of that ability. Alright, so let's talk about our bigger basics. So we have this shiny Thundurus. Looks really cool, but the ability's pretty nice. When he's in the active, he prevents damage to bench Pokemon, but it's really this gigantic bolt attack for 2 lightning. It does 140, and then it does 90 damage to itself. So the 90 damage to itself isn't ideal, but we have something in this deck to help cover that. Tapu Koko has the free retreat, and for 2 colorless energy, this attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, so you can hit the bench and the active, and that free retreat is huge. Regieleki. So the big thing about this one is the targeted bolt for 2 lightning and a colorless. Discard 2 lightning energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, so sniping the bench once again. And then discarding those energy is perfect when you can Dynamotor with Electric and Flaffy. So this isn't a basic, however, ability is pretty nice. This shiny Luxray, is pretty good. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your hand and you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, you may put this Pokemon onto your bench. So a great way to skip the basic and the stage 1, get right to the stage 2, and for 3 energy, you can hit for 180. It does 20 damage to itself, however. Probably the heart of this deck is this Raikou. The art is incredible. This card is just gorgeous. And it's amazing shot. So for a grass, a lightning, metal, this attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and 120 to the active. So you are sniping the bench for a good amount and hitting the active for a really good amount as well. The problem is, and the sad news is, this card is talked about being banned from the format because of this Joltik from Stellar Miracle. And for 1 colorless energy, you get to search your deck for up to 2 grass energy and up to 2 basic lightning energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. So what is being talked about is you can power this up really quick with that Joltik, and by turn 2 hitting 120 to the bench and 120 to the active. And they're saying it's limiting to players. I, however, disagree. You can TM Energize to power this up and still hit the bench by turn 2. It is not that hard. I don't know. A lot of people hate this card. Lightning players love this card. I'll be incredibly sad if this card does end up getting banned. I will probably have to revamp a lot of this deck, and I would hate to lose this card. Raikou is one of my favorite Pokemon, so it would be a bummer. But for now, it's staying in here. Alright, I know you guys have heard me before say it. I hate reverse hollows. However, this Electabuzz is not too bad. It looks pretty cool, actually. I believe it is the only Electabuzz that has 70 HP, so it is Buddy Poffin searchable. I love the art on this Electivire, and it's really used for this high voltage current. This attack does 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, the active and the bench. So, you know, a lot of people are talking about that Raikou being used with that Joltik that excels energy. Man, you could use it on this Electivire and hit 50 to everything. You could hit, 6 Pokemon if they have a full bench. The Raikou only hits 2. So they're talking about banning Raikou when this one can actually spread just as much damage or more. So I don't see a reason to ban Raikou. Next up, recently added is this Raichu. So it's really used for its first attack, Collateral Bolt. This attack does 50 damage to each Pokemon that has any damage counters on it, both yours and your opponent's. So this is a lot like the Electivire for 1 less energy, but it also damages your Pokemon. If your Pokemon on the bench have any damage, or even Raichu has damage on it, it's going to put 50 on it. So you kind of have to watch before you play it what's going to get hit with this. But it's another 50 damage spread. Most of the supporters are pretty standard. You know, you got your ball guy. I tend to put this Peonia in every deck just because it is so good to get into your prizes, especially for like setup decks, and get what you need. This card never gets talked about, but I think it's really good. It's Alyssa. Search your deck for 3 tool cards, reveal them and put them in your hand, shuffle your deck afterward. You're really going to want this to search out the tools that I have in here, which make your very low HP lightning guys, which most of these are. I think, yeah, Luxray with 150 is your highest HP guy in the deck, which is not good. But, you know, Keep of Toughness, add 50. Bravery Charm, add 50. And then this De-Evolution tool card, which lets you evolve, which lets you de-evolve all of your opponent's Pokemon. So, you know, you spread all this damage and you just go in there and de-evolve, and you can just take multiple prizes with this. And then their hand is filled with evolution Pokemon that they can't lay down. Well, you got Stormy Mountains, which you search for a basic lightning. Ether Paradise, take 30 less damage. Some deck lists have this Volkner in it. I like it. Search your deck for an item and a lightning energy card, reveal them and put them in your hand. A little bit like an Arven. You know, you got all of your Pokeballs, a couple of options to switch out of the active. Energy search. I actually pulled this gorgeous gold Buddy Buddy Poffin at a pre-release. Very cool. I think it looks amazing in this lightning deck. I have the 7 lightning energy, and to power up Raikou can be difficult sometimes, so you have to kind of watch your energy spread. So along with the 7 lightning, you will need a metal energy. You will need a grass. This Aurora can fulfill at least one of those if you can't find those basic energies. And then Speed Lightning, well, when you attach it to a Pokemon, you get to draw 2 cards. So here is where my list differs a lot from people. So I play Battle Compressor. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and discard them. Shuffle your deck afterwards. This is perfect if you want to excel energy. You have your Dynamoner Pokemon on the bench. You need to excel some energy. You can pull energy from the deck, put it in the discard pile, Dynamotor to whoever you need to, and get that going. Plus, it's also a good thinning option when you know you don't need cards in here that you have. Next up is this really beautiful Rainbow Brush. Choose an energy card attached to one of your Pokemon. Search your deck for a basic energy card and switch it with that card. Shuffle the first energy card into your deck. Now this is really helpful when maybe you can't find the energy you need for Raikou. Use this to search the deck for the energy that you need, so you can still attach, even with Dynamotor, to Raikou, and then bam, maybe you need the grass energy. You can switch out one of the extra lightning you've attached with the grass energy in your deck, and boom, he's powered up. So this has been pretty nice. It's a cool card. Never see it played, and I think it could be helpful to power up Raikou. This card has been really nice as well. Protective Cube. Prevent all damage done to the Pokemon this card is attached to by attacks it uses. That pairs perfectly with these two guys. You can hit quick and hard with Thunderous, 140 damage for 2 energy, but guess what? You're almost knocking yourself out. If it's full health, if it already has damage on it, it's most likely going to knock itself out. Put this cube on there, it's not doing 90 damage to itself. You can knock out your opponent's Pokemon really quick. Luxray also does 20 damage to itself, and you can prevent that just with a Protective Cube. 180 is pretty good. It's not harming itself. 150 isn't the biggest HP, but it's not the smallest either. And you basically consider this a basic Pokemon, so a basic Pokemon with 150 is pretty good. And like all my GLC decks, I theme them out with the sleeves. I use these yellow sleeves from Dragon Shield, and I use this yellow deck case to hold my extra sleeves and my deck. I'm a big fan of theming these decks out. I think that is the whole point of GLC, but definitely use whatever color you want, but I really like the theme across the board. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my Gym Leader Challenge Lightning deck. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to support the channel, give it a subscribe, and thanks for watching.